Well, here we are at the AMAA 100th Anniversary Gala, and with me is our chairman of the board, Nazarek Darakjan. Congratulations on this terrific legacy of service and love and all that has happened for the children of Armenia. Tell me why you got involved in this organization to begin with.
Well, it's a natural thing because I was born in the Armenian Evangelical Church, and the Armenian Missionary Association of America is the combined missionary effort of all the Armenian Evangelical churches in the world. And it is natural that if you are affiliated with the church, you want to be active in missions because that's the purpose of the church.
Well, Armenians, of course, were the first Christian nation in the world, and part of that responsibility is spreading the word of God and acting in the Spirit of God. Of all the wonderful experiences you've had with this organization, can you tell us a short story of something that really captures the spirit of it?
Well, I have to think now.
Like in Armenia, like when you're visiting in Armenia.
Yes, we were in Armenia last year, and we visited a family that receives help from the Armenian Missionary Association, and they were a family of 7 members, with one of them an infant still in the crib, and they were living in very, very bad conditions. The walls had cracks in them, the stairs were all broken, and we were able to help them in a way that was very material for them. So to see stories like that, to be able to witness that kind of support to individuals, I think is fantastic. The other is the Avedisian School. When you go there, you see 500 children who are coming there to get education, to learn about God, and to become the future leaders of the country.
That is a beautiful story, and there is nothing more hopeful than hundreds of children who know what it is to be Armenian and who are being helped by other Armenians, and that is what we do as Armenians. We are all one family, and whatever your circumstances, we were all there once. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you and congratulations for this wonderful organization, and please keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, here we are with the Steins from California, from 3,000 miles away, right here at the Armenian AMAA Gala. And I first met Joe and Joyce Stein when I was with the Armenian Assembly, and Joe is the charter member of Armenians by Choice. He married ABC. He married Joyce Pilavosian, and they are wonderful Armenians both, with the Armenian Assembly and other causes. Thank you for being here tonight, and can you tell us why does AMAA matter to you?
Well, it matters to me because my father was enamored of it 60 years ago, because the AMAA was doing such incredible work, amazing work. He said, I'm going to be the first person to give you the endowment. And indeed, 50 years ago, the Stephen Philibosian Endowment Fund began with the AMAA in 1950. And as I married and matured and had children, I was drawn to the work of AMAA and very involved with many aspects, including the child care. We have events in California, and Michelle has her event here for those underserved children in Armenia. It's marvelous. This Armenian Assembly, I'm thinking of the Assembly. The AMAA is known for its integrity, and people all over the world say that it's one of the finest organizations they know.
And the children, I mean, it's really very focused on the future, and we were all a part of that family.
Exactly. And my connection goes back to my father, who, after graduating from Franklin Marshall College, spent 3 years teaching at AUB, 1921 to 24. And he met Armenians and later became a member of the Near East Board of Missions, Foreign Missions, and would meet Joyce's father in New York for meetings, and we were introduced in that way. So,
Well, so you're the second generation of an Armenian by choice, in effect. We wouldn't be anywhere with this organization without the diaspora, without the commitment of Armenians around the world. And I went to Armenia in 2005, and it's not hyperbole to say it changed my life. And when people go to Armenia, you really see why it matters.
you
And
have to go back again
I can't wait.
a number of times.
I hear you, and we really are connected, and 100 years proves this. Thank you for your support of this
So happy to be
organization
here.
and for all that you do for Hayastan.
Celebrate 100 years.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
With me now is Reverend Viken Cholakjan, and he comes to us all the way from Greece. And I bet you didn't know there was a strong Armenian presence in Greece, but there is. And I want to thank you for your support of AMAA. And tell me what AMAA means to you, and how does that matter with Greek Armenians in Greece?
Yeah, first of all, when I was a student of theology, AMA helped me to do my studies. They supported me. So it's been a long time that AMA is part of our lives.
So going all the way back to when you were first learning to become a reverend.
Yes, reverend, yes, that's right. So, and they supported me all the way my studies, and then as I became pastor, reverend, of course, they supported also our church, and they have been supporting since 1920s, when the church...
Like 100 years.
Yeah.
Almost 100 years.
Almost, yes.
In Athens?
In Athens.
What's the name of your church?
Armenian Evangelical Church of Khanjian. Khanjian is that area where we are located. But so AMA has been supporting the church as well as the school we had. We had the elementary school and the kindergarten. So AMA was supporting the students, and we were offering them without any tuition.
So they get to go to school for free.
Yes.
In an Armenian-run school,
Exactly.
being supported by AMAA. And as
Yeah.
we know, education changes the world.
Exactly.
And Armenians are strong believers in educating their youth.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the youth that's the future for all of us.
Yeah.
And I'm very encouraged by what I see happening around the world.
Thank you very much. And till now, Greece, because of the financial situation of Greece, we have an economical crisis. So AMA keeps supporting our church and also relief work, so we can help those families who don't have enough to support themselves.
That's a very good point. So here, all these folks who are supporting AMAA, they're helping the children of whatever generation that happens to be in a country that's in economic crisis,
Yes.
to keep up their education
Exactly.
and be
Exactly.
there for when they're able to do for their own homeland and country.
Exactly.
So, thank you for hanging in there,
Thank you, thank you,
and making
yeah.
sure that our Armenian students in Greece
I
are
have
getting
been
the
there,
education they
yeah,
deserve
yeah.
and need.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we are thankful that AMA was established, and they keep supporting so many churches and schools around the world, and even the small community in Athens
Well, even you. I mean, it supported your pastorship,
Yes,
so you're
yes.
able to do this work
Exactly.
and give back, and that is
Exactly.
what our faith is about,
Yeah.
and doing for others.
Yeah.
So thank you for all that you do for others, and for coming to us all the way from Athens.
Thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
this interview.
With me is Cynthia Khanjian, who is the founding director of Operation Smile? City of Smile, which is a wonderful organization for youth of Armenia. And I learned that in their early days, City of Smile partnered with AMAA so they could do their work.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about City of Smile and how you worked with AMAA.
Okay. So in 2014, City of Smile was established in Armenia. My first visit to Armenia was in 2016 when I learned about City of Smile. And the way I learned about it was through the hospital called Muratsan Chemotherapy Hospital, where I found many children with cancer. And my grandson was with me, who was 10 at the time, and said, "What are we going to do about this?"
The children shall lead us.
Yes.
Yeah, and they do in
Yes.
this organization as well. I've heard so many times in my travels and all this, speaking to different Armenian organizations, we are all one family, and we really are focused on what is the next generation going to be, what are they going to be, and how do we help them?
How do we help them? Exactly. So the thing about children in Armenia with cancer is cancer was never recognized as cancer in Armenia. People were in denial. And so it's very difficult to get families to bring their children at an early stage of their sickness for treatment. It was only after they were very sick, maybe at end stage, where we would get these children. And so teaching parents about cancer and how we can help them, especially with blood diseases.
Early interventions.
Early intervention, exactly. So if we get them early enough, we can help them.
Well, thank you for the wonderful work of Operation Smile. Kudos to AMAA for being your partner in those early days, and thank you for all you do for the youth of Armenia. Thank you. Hi, with me is Father Avides Bornarian, a longtime supporter of the Armenian Missionary, and a parish priest.
Yes.
And you see children from all walks of life when you visit abroad, from your home country, and here in America and in Watertown. Tell me how you feel 100 years of this organization, and what does this organization mean to you?
This organization means a lot to me because the first encounter that I had with the missionary organization was when I was 10 years old. I went to a camp for children, and that's how it all started. And later on, they supported all my education in the elementary, high school, college, and post-college.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, so this has pervaded your entire life and shaped you.
Exactly.
And to become a man of God.
Yes. And AMA has a couple of focuses. One is the youth and the camps, and another is education. And that's why God is sustaining the organization to be 100 years old young and continuing their mission and looking for the future, helping out the children in Armenia, in the Middle East, in parts of Europe, and even in the U.S.
Well, we are the oldest Christians in the world.
We are.
And Armenians are one of the oldest cultures in the world.
You're right.
And it is a beautiful feeling as an Armenian, and I know that you share this, that we all feel that we're one family.
Yes.
And
That's
what
exactly
gives more
it is.
hope than children?
Yes.
So the 10-year-old in you
Yes.
is reaching 10-year-olds
Yeah, I
around
like
the
how
world.
the way you put it, that we are a team, we are a family, and that's how we feel about AMAA and what it does to our people, and even more than our people. Whenever there is an earthquake, there is a natural disaster, AMAA is out there to reach out and help and assist, support.
Yes. And the children are the future of the country.
They
and
are.
And Armenia is really doing some great stuff right now.
Yes,
And
yes.
I've been paying attention for a long time, and I don't know when I've been more hopeful. So
Yes.
thank you,
Thank you.
Father
Thank you
Avides
so much, and
Bornarian.
congratulations.
For speaking with us.
I wish you
Thank
well.
you. Hi, with me is Michael Voskian. He is the Vice Chairman of AMAA. Vice President, forgive me, Vice President of AMAA, and clearly a strong believer in the mission of AMAA. Why did you get involved in AMAA?
Well, thank you, Rachel. I'll have to say that I've been blessed. My family has been involved with the Armenian Evangelical Church, and the AMAA has been an integral part of the church. And seeing what the AMAA does is just heartwarming. It's absolutely incredible. The programs, the people that the organization touches, it compels you to get involved. So I came upon I was asked to come into on the board, and serve, and I learned so much. The organization has so much to offer, and I was particularly interested in the investments, and I became the chairman of the investment group, and it's been wonderful. We have a wonderful committee. We participate a lot, and we're helping the board and the organization move forward. So it's particularly momentous at this point in time because it's the 100th annual meeting, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here because the organization has grown from a small beginning to what it is today, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, it's wonderful that you're some of your greatest talent you are giving to this organization, and that is ensuring its financial health and growing the ability to help and make change. And as Armenians, we are all one family. And as Christians, part of our mission is to help others. And thank you for all that you do for AMAA and for being an outstanding member of the Armenian community and a wonderful participant in all that you do in AMAA.
Thank you. And may God bless the AMAA.
May God bless everyone involved. Thank you. I'm so pleased to have Zaven Khanjian, who is the Executive Director of this fantastic organization of AMAA. How long have you been in this role?
This is my 6th year.
What made you want to be a part of AMAA and its daily operations?
Well, the mission of the AMAA has been built in myself because my motto in life is to serve is my life. Service is my life. So when I was offered the job, I couldn't say no. I took it immediately.
Well, that is truly the spirit of everything that AMA does, service to others. And as Armenians, we're an ancient culture. We are an important presence all over the world. And what is more important than ensuring our future? And our future is our children. What about AMAA in Armenia is special? Like, what would you tell someone if you had one story to tell them of why AMAA matters to a child?
Yeah, I can bring the story of Eda Vedisyan. Eda Vedisyan, who is well known in this community, I'm sure. When he decided to build that Avedisyan school, his story was that his parents, his mother, probably on her deathbed or so, asked them if there was one thing that they could revive and memorialize her memory and her life was to build a school because she didn't have that opportunity to go to school. So today, after 70 years of Soviet rule, and after we were certainly God gave us the opportunity to enjoy this independent country. It was our turn to move into the homeland, and one thing that we knew well, and one thing has been the heritage of the Armenian Evangelical Church, was education. Take these children and educate these children, especially in the Avedisyan school, tuition free, so that we can give them a chance and opportunity in life. Something that was certainly not the best thing that they had enjoyed under the old regime. So education has been the focus of the Armenian Evangelical Church. Education has been the focus of the AMAA in Armenia, and we continue on educating these children for a brighter future for them and for the homeland.
Thank you for that. And education is the key to everything, and it empowers our country, it empowers our youth. Thank you for all the work that you do and for really espousing the true mission of it, what it is to be an Armenian and a Christian, service for others.
Absolutely, and education also brings the word of God, which is the focus and the foundation that the AMA was built on, and so that goes parallel and hand in hand with the education that we offer our children in Armenia.
And in that school, Armenians the first alphabet in the world. So they are learning the world's first alphabet while they are learning for their future. And I've never been more hopeful of the future of Armenia than I am on this night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Good evening. Everyone. I'm Michelle Samorian on behalf of the Armenian Missionary Association of America, its banquet committee, on this, the 100th Annual Meeting Banquet. It is my honor to welcome each and every one of you here tonight, to thank you for coming to celebrate this joyous occasion with us. As co-chairs, John and I would like to extend our deepest appreciation for the AMAA staff, who from the very beginning of our planning stages gave us invaluable help under the guidance of AMAA's Executive Director and CEO, Mr. Zaven Khanjian. The Western staff, led by Candace Mora and her team. Our heartfelt thanks go to every member of the banquet committee who, when we approached them, responded enthusiastically and graciously went to work to make this event what it is. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our evening's Master of Ceremonies, someone who, for over 35 years, has believed in and supported the work of the AMAA, and he has done so ever so quietly. However, tonight, he's been coaxed out of that quiet mode. His cover is blown. John Samorian, won't you come up?
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for being here supporting our centennial celebration. Before I start, I would just like to say to my wife, thank you for involving me in your amazing work, which you do with grace, humility, and love. You're a perfect gem. Before we start, I want to say that we need to talk. You heard that expression, right? Usually when someone says, we need to talk, they say, uh-oh, something's coming, all right? And yeah, something's coming. All right. When I accepted the role of MC here, frankly, I've never emceed an event in my life. So this is a maiden voyage for me and for you, I guess. And let's hope it all works out well together. However, I think that after I did accept, I started doing some studying, and I Googled, what does an effective MC do? What are the tips that you can find as to how to perform as an MC? And you know, the one thing that kept popping up all the time was, end the meeting on time. End the meeting on time. And I thought, well, that's easy, I can do that. I can end the meeting on time, I got a watch, I can keep track of everyone. So, I have a deal. I want to make a deal with everybody here, all right? And here's the deal. you have a responsibility also in this evening. And what I need you to do is I need you to sit, relax, enjoy, and take in this wonderful evening that you're about to experience. Because we have a program here tonight that is absolutely fantastic. We've got out-of-this-world singers, we've got wonderful speakers, we have videos that have been put out by professional people. So these will really, really amaze you. And we also have a pretty good dinner coming along too. So you're going to eat, don't worry. However, before we eat, I just want to get a deal with you and say, okay, we got a deal? Yes? Okay. I didn't hear it too loud, but anyway, we got a deal, right? Okay. All right. The other thing I want to do before we get into the program is I want to offer a toast. And I want to offer a toast to a couple who have decided to spend their wedding anniversary with us tonight and their family. So, to Sophie and Vata and Khanjian, please stand wherever you are. And please, people, raise your glasses. Raise your glasses to Sophie and Vata and Khanjian. Where are you all? And there you are. Stand up, please. There you go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. To begin our program, I would like to introduce two accomplished performing artists. Victoria Artesian, a native of Yerevan, was honored at the Kaprielian International Music Festival as Young Vocal Artist of the Year. She's a graduate of the Yerevan Komitas State Conservatory and Boston University's Opera Institute. She made her company debut with the Boston Lyrical Opera. Gehishe Manacharian has performed in many opera houses around the world, most notably the Metropolitan Opera at Carnegie Hall in New York, as well as opera houses in Boston, San Diego, and Naples, Italy. He has performed at Tanglewood and the Westford Festival in Ireland. Please welcome Victoria and Gehishe, who will lead us in the singing of the Armenian national anthem and then the American national anthem. So please stand while we sing, and please remain standing for the invocation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a Missionary, the pastor of the Armenian Memorial Church in Watertown and board member of the AMAA, will now deliver the invocation.
Let's pray together. Most gracious God, our Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight to celebrate AMAA's 100th Annual Meeting Banquet, we want to praise you and give you thanks and commend you for your faithfulness in the last 1 century. And thank you for all your provisions to us. You know our needs and you provide. And for that we are grateful to you. And thank you for calling us to be co-workers in the mission field. Always be assured of your presence with us that enables us to move forward, to be faithful to our legacy and embrace the future. Tonight, help us to be grateful men and women and renew our pledge with you to continue our journey as we reach out to the needy and the poor and the differently abled and to the elderly with love, compassion, and care. We thank you for this gathering and for this joyous event, and we ask that you continue to pour your blessings on each one of us tonight and bless our fellowship together around the table as we break bread together. Remember how your Son, our Lord, broke bread with his disciples, and he asked them to renew their commitment to be his apostles, spreading the good news. Help us to follow their lead. Bless our time together and the program and the food. We pray this in Jesus' name. And everybody said, Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you, Pastor. We are honored to have with us tonight 3 distinguished groups. Please stand when I call your particular group's name, and I ask all of you to please hold your applause until I introduce all 3 groups. Thank you. First, the representatives of the Armenian Evangelical World Council. Next, the representatives of the Armenian Evangelical Union. And finally, the Armenian Evangelical Ministers. There should be a lot here, yes? Additionally, we're also honored to have several dignitaries with us this evening. Father Anthony Baljan, representing His Eminence, Archbishop Khanjian, Prelate of the Armenian Apostolic Church of America. Reverend Father Mikhail Basali, pastor of the Holy Cross Armenian Catholic Church in Belmont, Massachusetts. And a very, very special guest, the Honorable Barujan Neseshin, the Ambassador of the Republic of Armenia to the United States. Who was here with his wife, Armenian Noctasia. I thought you would all be interested to know that the ambassador in this section has a long list of academic achievements. But one of them in particular stuck out to me, which is he's a graduate of Tufts University's Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. grandson in this section, will now offer a few words.
AMAA Executive Director, Mr. Khanjian, distinguished members of the board, dear members of AMAA, I'm very glad to be here tonight with you and to share the joy of this celebration. AMAA is one of the unique Armenian diaspora organizations. 101 years ago, when AMAA was founded in Worcester, Massachusetts, right in the aftermath of the Armenian genocide, hundreds of thousands of Armenian men, women, and children were still roaming in the deserts of Syria, Lebanon, and different parts of the Middle East, suffering from hunger, poverty, and the lack of minimal conditions of life. 101 years ago, when the founding fathers of AMAA came together, they knew that this undertaking was not going to be an easy one. It was not going to be easy to extend help to their suffering compatriots, but nothing could stop them. And they started this inspiring journey called AMAA. They did so, and they succeeded because they had a determination and a great vision. Also, 101 years ago, these people came together because they were united in their faith, in their Christian faith, and they proved the Bible not only in prayers, but also in their deeds. On a daily basis, reaching out thousands of people in need. Thus, throughout this wonderful journey, AMAA has done a tremendous amount of job to rescue and to help the survivors of Armenian genocide. But the AMAA has redefined also its mission when the independent Republic of Armenia was born, and even before that. Back in 1988, when the devastating earthquake struck and destroyed the entire north of Armenia, AMAA was one of the first to reach out its own compatriots in Spitak, Gyumri, Vanazor, and all of the other places in the north of Armenia, struck by the devastating earthquake. And the AMAA stood firmly behind the independent Armenian Republic in the fight for the Nagorno-Karabakh liberation movement by reaching out those in need and desperate conditions. The AMAA has created a better future for Armenia by the principle of changing the world through education. I looked at the AMAA map and I saw that it carries out its mission in 24 countries. Isn't this amazing? This is really great. And I saw so many wonderful projects, and I saw one of them, Stitched with Love. You know, that people do this project. I didn't know it's here, but you have so many wonderful projects. But it's really great to see all of this. And AMAA never rests. It's always faithful to its mission. As recently as last week, I received a message from Mr. Khanjian saying that AMAA is ready to support any Armenians willing to be transferred to Armenia in the aftermath of Turkey's recent attack and invasion of northern Syria. And we deeply appreciate the government of Armenia, Mr. Khanjian, and all of the AMAA members deeply appreciate this. Last but not least, I'd like to express my gratitude to AMAA for its support of the Embassy of the Republic of Armenia throughout so many years and the permanent mission of the Republic of Armenia in New York. Our both embassy and mission deeply appreciate this support. And all of this demonstrates that AMAA is a unique and deeply national Armenian institution that we all need to care for and to be proud of. I'm confident that with such a great heritage and with such a rigorous determination, AMAA is going to continue to confidently its mission in the 21st century. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, and thank you so much for being with us and for Noreen to be here also with you. We appreciate your taking the time on your busy schedule to come and celebrate our centennial anniversary. Thank you. Dr. Nazaret Duraksha as the president of the AMAA Board of Directors for 5 years. He is an eye physician and surgeon practicing in the Los Angeles area. He is an active member of the United Armenian Congregational Church of Los Angeles and a board member of the Armenian American Museum in Glendale, California. Dr. Duraksha will introduce a very informative video about the AMAA's Aberdeen School in Uruguay. Please welcome Dr. Duraksha.
Thank you, John. Esteemed clergy, honored guests and friends of the AMAA, I love Boston. Probably because it was at Woodland Airport that I set foot on American soil for the first time 43 years ago, escaping the horrors of the civil war in Lebanon. Or probably because I have several beautiful cousins who live in and around Boston, who welcome me with open arms every time I come here. But most likely it's because not too far from here, in a city called Worcester, a bit more than 100 years ago, the Armenian Evangelical Church gave birth to an organization that became a vital force of support to individuals and organizations in the Armenian diaspora for over a century, and also in the Armenian homeland for the last 30 years. That organization came to be known as the Armenian Missionary Association of America, and today it is serving Armenian communities in 24 countries with a budget of over $10 million a year. I am sure that our founding parents, if they were here today, would have expressed their satisfaction at how the services of AMAA have grown in scope and magnitude over these 100 years. Today, we raise our heartfelt gratitude to God, first for guiding us through some very difficult times, and we fondly remember those leaders whose total dedication pushed the AMAA forward and upward, like Mr. Stephen Filibosian, Reverend Dr. Gregos Chopurian, and Reverend Dr. Moses Jambazian. Today, we thank the entire Armenian Evangelical community all over the world for embracing this organization, sustaining and nurturing it, and enabling it to reach out to many and spread the gospel of love and hope. Generations have come and gone, and today there is a vibrant community in Boston, around Boston, and also extending from the east coast of the United States to the west. This generation has capabilities that far exceed the capabilities of the community that existed in 1918. The question is, do we have the zeal? Do we have the passion? Do we have the desire to rebuild the torn down churches of the homeland and to revitalize the Christian spirit of all our communities, which was the original mission of the founding parents of the AMAA? Keep in mind that rebuilding a church does not mean laying bricks and applying mortar. A church is built by bringing in believers and helping them to mature in their faith by studying and understanding the Bible. It is now up to us to pick up the mantle and carry on the torch and follow the Great Commission to make the second century of the AMAA even better than the first. Our work is not done as long as there is hunger for the Word of God, as long as there are children that are thirsty for education, and as long as there are families or individuals for whom finding the daily bread is a daily challenge. May God make us worthy of this mission. Before I step down, let me take this opportunity to thank all those who participated in organizing this great event under the great leadership of John and Michelle Simurian. Thank you all. Now we are going to see a video about the Avdisa High School in Armenia.
It was the dream of AMAA benefactor and board member Edward Avadishan to build a school to honor his genocide survivor parents, Khoren and Shushanek Avadishan, who had placed an extremely high value on education throughout their lives. The Khoren and Shushanek Avadishan School and Community Center is located in the Malatya Sebastia district of Yerevan, Armenia. The Avadishan School was founded in 1998 as a tuition-free educational center for students from economically disadvantaged homes. The school provides a free education to more than 580 students. It is operated by the AMAA and conforms to the standard of education as set forth by the Armenian Ministry of Education. The school's construction process introduced a new construction culture in Armenia. The Avadishan School's building team included senior technical advisor architect Ronald Altoon, who suggested accepting the challenge to design the school to become LEED certified. Mr. Avadishan became the champion of the LEED certification goal. The Avadishan School's building team also included architect Isahak Nesisyan, construction manager Faraj Yeritsian, lead consultant solar energy design and implementation consultant Dr. Armen Kaprielian, lead consultant AJB Incorporated conservation advisor Dr. Kenel Turian, AMAA lead and USGBC liaison Richard Uat, and legal counsels Peter Kugashian Esquire and Jean-Marie Kaprielian. Funding for the LEED certification process was generously provided by the John Mirock Foundation of Massachusetts. The school is constructed and operated by keeping all of the local and international environmental laws and standards. The students at Avadishan School excel not only in general education, but also learn new technologies in line with modern educational standards. The Avadishan School provides students with comprehensive academic education and soft skills that incorporate scientific, spiritual, and moral values. That is why the school graduates are all admitted into institutions of higher education. The whole building is an environmental lab where students are taught to love and preserve the greatest gift of God, nature. The Avadishan School and Community Center provides students with environmental and scientific knowledge that enables them to adopt environmentally friendly habits and promote them in their family and friends. The school was also awarded the LEED Earth designation, given only to the very first building project in each developing country to satisfy the USGBC LEED criteria. It sets an example of how schools can help develop the next generation of environmental stewards. Once again, we express our gratitude and congratulate the Avadishan family. We have been entrusted with the welfare of our planet. The benefactors, the AMAA Board and Administration, and the faculty and students of the Avadishan School are taking good care of Armenia's ecology, while they toil to provide an environmentally sustainable homeland for the enjoyment of generations to come. Zaven Khanjian, AMAA Executive Director.
Thank you, Dr. Durash, and thank you so much for that that wonderful video about the Aberdeen School, which is a flagship educational school in Armenia. When I think about the establishment and accomplishments of the Aberdeen School and the AMAA, I am reminded of the words of William Soroyan, who famously wrote, "Go ahead, destroy Armenia. See if you can do it. Send them into the desert without bread or water. Burn their homes and churches. Then see if they will not laugh, sing, and pray again. For when two of them meet anywhere in the world, see if they will not create a new Armenia." When the founders conceived of the idea of the AMAA in 1918, they displayed the spirit that William Soroyan so eloquently wrote about. When Soroyan wrote about creating a new Armenia, isn't that what the Aberdeen School and the AMAA are doing by nurturing and educating the future leaders of Armenia? All right, I'm going to call back Dr. Director, who's going to make a presentation to a young lady, and I'm sure you'll get a big kick out of this. Dr. Director, please.
I would like to invite to the podium Missionary. Missionary graduated from the Armenian High School 2 years ago, which means she was one of the first people to graduate high school at Armenian High School. And she is now a third-year student at AUA, correct? Yes. She must be brilliant because I don't know how in 2 years she became a third-year student, but you can make it come to your own conclusion. Now, as you remember in the video, our Islam school received this silver certificate, LEED certificate, and I also have a glass plaque says LEED silver certificate. Now I would now like to present this to Mr. and Mrs. Avedisian. Ed and Pam could not be here with us because they're traveling. Therefore, I'm going to ask Lucine to receive this for us and take it on to the Avedisian when they come back.
Thank you so much for the introduction. So I'm Lucina from Armenia, one of the graduates of Avedisan High School. I have spent my high school years at Avedisan High School. These 3 years have been full of memories, challenges, and opportunities. School gives us an incredible education. We are raised to be true Christians, kind humans, and socially responsible citizens. To have a greater impact on our environment, we always recycle waste and use water efficiently. In addition, we have solar panels so that we will not waste our electricity. We also have trash museum where we exhibit our artworks which are made from garbage. I'm very thankful to my school because all of the education and knowledge that they gave me 3 years ago are still helping me during my studies at AUA. The lessons and the values will always guide me in my life. In short, I will always be thankful to my school, to our principal, to our teachers, to our founders, to our donors, and to Armenian Missionary Association of America for their impact on my life and my peers. Thank you so much.
I think that's the best ad for the Aberdeen School I ever saw. Isn't it? Wasn't she wonderful? And we wish her good luck and success with the rest of her education. All right, now I've got a real treat. We've got a real treat for you all. We've got now a musical program It is going to be absolute lights out. All right, so without further, I already introduced Victoria and Missionary and Kaprielian. And I'm going to call them back now because they're going to now give you a concert that I'm sure you'll talk about for many, many years.
O sole mio.
Che bella cosa, na giuro Հայաստան Վայսախաձյան։
Այնտեղ եմ ծնվել ես, այնտեղ մեծացվել, այն ջուրը խմել եմ սարնորակ, հազար ճանապարհ ես դու իմ դեմ բացել, իմ լավ արասատ, իմ քաղաք, հարդ կարինեմ շարել, քեզ հետ հասակ եմ մարել, իմ Երևան, քո մեջ եկի է, ես իմ կյանքն եմ կապել, Քեզ միշտ սիրել եմ իմ
Does that make you proud to be an Armenian? What program does, right? We sing, Avedisian School, wonderful. 1918 to now. We've come a long way, and we're proud of it. Proud of performers like Victoria and Yehishi. So proud of you, and also Lucine, we're so proud of you. Dr. Michael Voskin is Vice President of the AMAA Board and Chairman of the Investment Committee. He is an active member of the Armenian Presbyterian Church of Paramus, New Jersey. He will introduce a beautiful video production about the history of the Armenian Evangelical Church and the AMAA. Please welcome Dr. Voskin.
Thank you, John. Good evening. It's absolutely wonderful being here tonight with so many pastors present and enjoying such a wonderful meal. But this reminds me of a joke. And it goes like this. An evangelical pastor wanted to go hunting. He wanted to get a bear. So he went and got his gun. He went out into the woods. And he went hunting for this bear. He was hunting, and he was hunting, and he was hunting. No bear. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours later, no bear. He's frustrated. He takes his gun and throws it to the ground. It breaks. He starts on his way home, and suddenly a large bear appears. The bear raises its arms to the air, ready to attack. The pastor looks to the heavens and he starts to pray. Dear Lord, please make this bear into a Christian. It was his instinct, obviously. Suddenly, the bear lowers his arms. He folds his paws and he begins to pray. Joshua Yatsuk. Okay, now back to the program. We're now at the point of the program to formally acknowledge the 100th annual meeting of the AMAA. Let's take a moment and talk about this number, 100. At 100 years of age, there may be many mixed feelings. After all, 100 is a big, scary number. And now the AMAA has achieved this century marker. But the AMAA is stronger than it's ever been because its individuals are a little bit different. Let me explain. If a man lives to be 100, some men are uninhibited and they can act irresponsibly. If a woman lives to be 100, she may not want to admit or announce her age. I'm sure we all know some people like this. But in dramatic contrast to this, the AMAA is a collection of men and women. But at 100 years of age for this organization acts with the highest level of responsibility, and we are proud to announce our age. As we all know, the AMAA was the brainchild of our forefathers. They were the leaders and the members in the Armenian Evangelical Churches. So it's appropriate on the occasion of the 100th annual meeting of the AMAA to acknowledge and recognize our mother organization, the Armenian Evangelical Church. So one would logically ask, who is this organization that we refer to as the Armenian Evangelical Church? We are so fortunate to have so many ministers with us tonight, but I won't call one. We're going to, instead, I'm going to ask you to turn your attention to this short video.
The Armenian Evangelical movement was born during a 19th century cultural renaissance. Its founders took on a mission to renew the spiritual life of their nation. 37 men and 3 women signed a statement of faith and established the first evangelical church in Pera, Constantinople on Sunday, July 1, 1846. Quality education at all levels, open to all, was embraced by Armenian evangelicals. They were pioneers in this era, opening the eyes and minds of fellow Armenians. From 1846 to 1915, the Armenian Evangelical Church established over 130 churches, 400 schools, and 3 theological seminaries. Armenian evangelical unions formed to connect all the churches and grew to include at least 50,000 people. Armenian evangelicals promoted the education of women from the start of their movement. establishing schools and colleges for women. Many went on to become teachers in the growing education sector. Armenian evangelicals also ran colleges and seminaries with missionaries. They provided higher education to thousands of Armenian young people who went on to be leaders in their communities. In 1881, in Worcester, Massachusetts, Armenian evangelicals established the first Armenian church in the U.S., which became Armenian Church of the Martyrs. The number of Armenian evangelical churches in the eastern U.S. grew to 8 by 1901, when they formed the Armenian Evangelical Union of Eastern States, and to 20 by 1914. On the West Coast, there were 3 Armenian evangelical churches by 1908, and they formed the Armenian Evangelical Union of California. Overwhelming news of atrocities in their ancestral homeland began reaching U.S. Armenian evangelical churches in 1915. Armenians marched into the deserts, families massacred, churches and schools and cultural buildings destroyed by the Turks. The Union of Eastern States had one question for its 1917 meeting: what will be the role of the Armenian Evangelical Church in the task of the reconstruction of our nation? Capable leaders were commissioned to propose a response. At the Armenian Church of the Martyrs on June 7, 1918, the Armenian Evangelical Union of the Eastern States founded the Armenian Missionary Association of America. The Armenian Evangelical Union of California quickly signed on to support the new organization and welcomed first AMAA Executive Secretary Reverend Miran Khanjian as he visited them. Tremendous organizational work went into sending aid, helping orphans and refugees, and re-establishing Armenian evangelical communities and churches in the Near East. The Armenian Evangelical Church raised up the first and all succeeding generations of AMAA leaders. During World War II, the Armenian Evangelical Church of New York placed all its facilities at the disposal of the AMAA, while its senior pastor, Reverend Antranik Badikian, worked as the AMAA Volunteer Executive Secretary. Reverend Badikian organized the 1946 centennial celebration of the Armenian Evangelical Church's founding. The worldwide activities raised $150,000, $50,000 more than the goal. This made the AMAA self-sufficient for the first time and boosted the Armenian Evangelical Church into a new mission-oriented era. With support from Armenian evangelical churches, the AMAA strengthened and expanded newly established schools and communities in the Near East. The Mohagian family, Stephen Philibosian, and the AMAA worked together to establish Higazian College in Beirut. Through wartime tests of faith and periods of expansion, Armenian evangelicals have supported this institution faithfully, raising up thousands of leaders committed to truth, freedom, and service. The Armenian Evangelical Church's focus on youth fellowship led AMAA to support camp ministries in the Near East, Europe, the Americas, North and South, and Turkey. On distant continents, Armenian evangelical churches organized to support AMAA projects and maintain ties of fellowship. Still educating its young and illuminating minds with the truth in the place of its founding, the Gedik Pasha Armenian Evangelical Church in Istanbul, under the directorship of Hrant Guzelian, gave shelter to the young Hrant Dink and built Camp Arman. The 1988 earthquake and the war in Nagorno-Karabakh galvanized the Armenian Evangelical Church and AMAA to pivot toward Armenia. Into the formerly closed Soviet Republic they flowed with volunteers and aid, determined to help. Earthquake Relief Medical Missions, the Orphan and Child Care Mission, the Armenian Milk Fund were all established during this difficult period, with the loving support of the Armenian Evangelical Church of the Diaspora. In the midst of these difficulties, a new era was born. On September 21, 1991, the Armenian Evangelical Church gave thanks worldwide as the Republic of Armenia declared its independence. The AMAA mobilized to serve the re-established Armenian nation. In the years following independence, the AMAA established new Armenian evangelical churches, community centers, daycare centers, medical missions, schools and camps in the Republic of Armenia and Artsakh. The AMAA's investment in the Armenian nation through its Christian mission is the Armenian Evangelical Church's founding vision. On the occasion of its own centennial, the AMAA visited Armenian evangelical churches around the world, from New Jersey to Australia, Canada to South America, Yerevan and Gyumri to Los Angeles. In Gyumri, where the 1988 earthquake caused so much devastation and rebuilding is still going on, the AMAA dedicated a new community center. In Los Angeles, the AMAA concluded its worldwide centennial celebration with a look to the future. Now 173 years old, the Armenian Evangelical Church is an integral part of the Armenian nation in the diaspora and in the homeland of Armenia, acknowledged and respected for its contributions, continuing to worship in faith and do good works. The legacy of the Armenian Evangelical Church has been a glowing halo of service in educational, spiritual, cultural, social, and physical needs. Its new generation of young men and women are joining AMAA missions to the homeland, bringing the love of God and hope for the future. The Armenian Evangelical Church entrusted to the AMAA, its mission agent, a legacy of faith, love, and service. Both continue today in global fellowship, united in witness and mission, building a strong foundation on the good news of the gospel and inspiring young people to serve the Armenian nation. We salute the Global Armenian Evangelical Church.
As you saw, the history of the Armenian Evangelical Church is absolutely amazing. The organization has grown and consists of 124 churches and 5 unions, present in Armenia, North America, the Near East, France, and Eurasia. The organization that unites these unions together is the Armenian Evangelical World Council. At this time, I invite the following ministers forward. Representing the Armenian Evangelical World Council, its president, Reverend Joel Mikhailian. Representing our host church, the Armenian Memorial Church, Reverend Dr. Avadis Boynarian. And representing the first Armenian Evangelical Church in North America, the Armenian Church of the Martyrs, Reverend Stephen Carlisle. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present certificates and plaques to formally recognize the Armenian Evangelical Church. On them has a very special inscription. It was the first declaration as written by the 40 people who founded the first Evangelical Church of Armenia. It states the following: "We accept with reverence our national traditions, sanctified by the blood of our martyrs. We love the Armenian nation with whole heart and mind. But the freedom of conscience we consider more precious than anything else. And we shall not allow any authority or tradition or command take away from our hand the gospel of Christ." I present to you the Armenian Evangelical Church.
Զինվորական հայերեն քրությունը մենք ակնազանքով կընդունենք մեր ասկային ավանդությունները, սրբակորձված մեր մարգարոսներուն անունով։ Մենք կսիրենք մեր հայ ազգը սրտանց եւ ամբողջ մտքով, բայց ամեն բանի ավելի թանկագին կնկատենք խղճի ազատությունը եւ թույլ բիչի տակ, որ ոչ մեկ իշխանություն կամ ավանդություն կամ հրաման մեր ձեռքին առնի Քրիստոսի հավելանանը։
On behalf of the Armenian Evangelical World Council, I just want to thank to the AMAA, his president, Dr. Khanjian, his executive director, Zaven Khanjian, for this dedication for the churches. We thank the AMAA for his work on the world, and we pray that AMAA continue working for our churches and our peoples. You are a blessing. You have been a blessing in the past, and we pray and we hope we are a blessing for the present and for the future for the churches on the world. Thank you very much.
I humbly come before you to accept this in honor of Armenian Church of the Martyrs. I also invite all of you to come to our church tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. There will be a final gathering from this very memorable occasion. And wish to thank you on behalf of our church. Thank you. And all the glory goes to our Lord. I have been a missionary at heart, been in some 40 nations over many years. So the idea of this organization, hey, this is what it's all about. My work may have been pastoral in nature, but it's missional in intention of spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's appropriate right here in our homes, wherever we live, as well as all around the world. So again, thank you, and God's blessing be upon the AMAA.
Thank you. And may the Lord bless the Armenian Evangelical Churches and the AMAA. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I think the only thing we can say after that is that we are all blessed. And thank you, Michael, for that excellent presentation. Mr. Zaven has been the Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the AMAA for 5 years. Mr. Khanjian had an extensive and very successful business career before joining the leadership of the AMAA. He has also served in leadership capacities in several Armenian organizations. He has contributed volumes of articles to the American Armenian media and is the author of 3 Armenian books. As a result of his literary skills, he recently received honorary membership in the prestigious Union of Armenian Writers. Zaven, congratulations.